Hey everybody, it's Patrick, and here is my new little boy. That's Henry Vogelpool. He was born last Monday. He is adorable, and everybody loves him, and he's already smarter than me. So, yeah, he is just a delight, and I hope you get to meet him someday. But until then, let's look at this research paper. Okay? Due December 4th, a Wednesday. 6 to 7 pages, so you are not doing a crazy long research paper. And then you have a works cited page, which most of you should be fine with, and some of you need to talk to me. The prompt. So we have Howard Gardner in the reading In a Nutshell, which I sent you to through my last announcement. You're going to read Gardner's essay on multiple intelligences called In a Nutshell. In it, he describes his multiple intelligence theory. Gardner's a psychologist, very influential, who believes that not only is there more than one way to test intelligence, but there are more than one intelligences. There are different ways of being intelligent. So what you want to do is read it, read the history behind the theory, how he came up with it, how he measures them, and more importantly, what I care about are the different types of intelligences that he defines. Then once you get that, all you want to do is compare two protagonists in different short stories from the man back there. That's it. But you're going to compare and contrast them by intelligences. So for example, what are two intelligences that these two characters share? What does one intelligence that one character has, but the other one doesn't? That's it. That's all the research paper is. So you're doing the same type of analysis that you did in the Machiavelli paper. So instead of going with a definition of Machiavelli first, an explanation of Machiavelli, now you're going with Gardner. Instead of applying it to just one character, you're now applying Gardner to two. That's it. So how do you build it? And here's where the research comes in. First thing you do is you introduce Howard Gardner, as well as In a Nutshell. So you can get a couple sources on who this guy is to help give your paper some dimension. Define the two intelligences you feel your characters share, or if you think there's three, say you think it's all comparison, that's fine. If you think it's part comparison, part contrast, define all the different intelligences you're going to show me. Okay. Or you're going to say this character doesn't have it, right? And then you prove how they don't have it. Then you get to your thesis, and you very clearly connect those intelligences to those two different characters. That's it. Then your essay just does what you think it would do. You examine both characters, and you give textual support to prove your thesis. Before you get into the analysis, though, you'll introduce David Krauss, and you'll summarize the actual short stories you're looking at. There's no need to summarize the book. Just summarize the two short stories. Before you do that, though, give us some background information on who David Krauss is. Again, that's where you're bringing some research to the table. And again, you're just adding dimension to a thesis you already have. Compare and contrast the characters carefully and clearly introduce, offer, and analyze quotes. And then you offer a conclusion. Grading givens. Don't have the following, I can't grade the paper. First thing you need, an introduction that discusses Gardner's professional work and its impact. Then a summary of In a Nutshell. A paragraph discussing David Krauss and his body of work. Short summaries of the story in question. And then your analysis, you'll need quotes from the stories in question. Obviously, I want clear sentences, an awesome works cited page. The grading rubric is basically teed up for you. So if you've been doing all of your work this semester and you've been getting good feedback from me, this should not be too difficult. 50 points will come out of, or 50% of your paper is based on the quality of the composition. So are all components of the research paper well developed, well organized, and clear? Do you offer textual support that makes sense? And do you offer enough of it? Overall, does the entire thing make sense? 30% of your grade will be based on MLA material. So is the paper presented according to MLA guidelines? Do you cite all quotes and paraphrases correctly? And the works cited page, is it accurate? Is it formatted correctly? Finally, sentences, 20%. Are they efficient and clear? Do you write about literature? So when you're writing about Krauss's stories, the characters in them, do you write about it in the present tense? So lit English professors like to say that literature is alive. And I said alive in air quotes. You just couldn't see that. So it's kind of hoity-toity. Just refer to all literature in present tense. Okay. Sources needed. Just 4 outside sources. And if you've been doing the work in comp class, which I know most of you have because I'm seeing your grades go up because everything's due tonight, you should be fine. Get me 2 legitimate outside sources on Gardner's life, career, and influences, and 2 on Krauss's career and work. Krauss has his own website called, I believe it's called the Krauss House or the House of Krauss. If you Google David Krauss, it will pop up. And he even has PDFs of other stories that were submitted for consideration in The Man Back There, but didn't get picked by the publisher for some reason. And links to a couple articles about him, and a big interview with him from something called Permafrost Magazine that is all usable. Okay. And then obviously you'll need to bring material from In a Nutshell, and you'll need to bring material, in other words, quote, 2 stories from The Man Back There. Tips, start today or tomorrow. The point being, just start. Research papers are more manageable the sooner you start. It doesn't mean they become easy by any means. It doesn't mean that they'll just sort of pop out of you at all. But the process is a lot more bearable the earlier you begin. Okay. So what can you do? Well, select the protagonist you'll write about in the next 5 days. Okay. Just commit. It's a research paper, not a marriage. This thing will be out of your life before not just the winter break, but before our final. So you're going to get the research paper done, and then we move on to interpreter maladies for the last 2 weeks of class. That's it. So this is going to be out of your hair very quickly. Don't agonize over it. Don't plagiarize. I'll find out. Then you get an F. And then life is miserable, and your mom's going to be terribly upset with you. Chip away. Sort of a repeat of the previous bullet point, but just chip away. Work on a little every single day until it's due. Okay. Schedule. So tonight, all comp course quizzes are due. By next Thursday, I need you to email me a summary of In a Nutshell. Okay. 1 page, type, double space. It's a lengthy piece of writing, and it deserves some depth. Don't be surprised if I tell you, and for the research paper itself, to maybe reduce the size of your summary of In a Nutshell. But let's get a lot on paper first and see what we can keep and get rid of. Then you need summaries of the actual short stories you'll discuss in the research paper. No more than 7 sentences each, and you can look back to our old PowerPoints or PDFs. I think there are PowerPoints on how to summarize fiction. Need your thesis and your complete works cited page. It might change, obviously, but give me a full mock-up of actual sources that you could use. So get everything out on the table by next Thursday. And then what I can do is look at them, get back to you, and then we'll have conferences the following week, in which we'll discuss all the work you'd submitted on the 14th. And obviously, if you want to meet sooner, we can do that. And then we have between the 21st and the 4th to compose the paper. Obviously, I'll be sending you more information during that time. And I'll keep reaching out to you, and please connect with me if you need help. But that's it. And then what you'll do is, the day you turn in the research paper, I'll start giving you work towards the final, which will be a short 2-page essay on interpreter of maladies. You're in the home stretch. You are so close to being done, so close to passing or doing incredibly well in terms of grades in this class. So just stay the course. Okay? That's about it. If you have questions, feel free to email me. If you have comments, feel free to email me. But I got to tell you, I looked at your third essays. I think I've graded all of them now. You guys are kicking butt. If you stuck with it, you guys are kicking butt. Okay? Better than my other classes. I promise. So, that's all for now. You guys have a great night. Have a good weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.